Well, welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas visiting with Scott Gerber from the Ohio Swiss Festival in Sugar Creek, Ohio. Coming up when, Scott?
Well, this coming Friday and Saturday, the 28th and 29th, is our published events, and that's when most of the polka bands will start showing up. Some of the wine and cheese will start opening up. We have what we call maybe a locals night that's actually on the 27th, Thursday.
Okay.
And that's becoming a very popular evening, obviously because Garraway has no school the next day. It's a special ride night for the kids. The cheese auction takes place. The announcing of the cheese champion, and all that takes place on that Thursday.
I got to park right there. You auction off cheese?
Yes, so we have a cheese auction, and you can, if you bring your wallet, buy some champion cheese.
Okay.
And vendors from across the state of Ohio will show up for that event, and they will buy their wares because champion Swiss cheese can make you money, and it's still thought of as a big deal.
All right. Well, define champion Swiss cheese. What would constitute champion cheese? What are you shooting for?
Well, to be crowned Swiss cheese grand champion, it's a collection of events that you've participated in, even down the Ohio State Fair.
Really?
You've taken your cheese to different events that are judged upon, and I think the Tuscarawas County Fair is another one of those. And I'm sorry I don't know the others, but I'll have to talk to one of my local cheesers. But the culmination is the Swiss Festival. That's when the final. So tallies are made, and it's point systems, and it's tasting and color and holes and looks, and those guys, the cheesers that are in those competitions, they've selected their own cheese from their own warehouse and said, this is the one this is the block of cheese that I'm going to put up for my champion cheese, and it makes its travels. So this Ohio Swiss Festival in Sugar Creek is the culmination of that event.
This is fascinating. So if I were going to be bidding on cheese, like what do you bid on cheese? How high do those bids go?
Well, they'll break down the champion cheese by a large block of maybe 100 pounds, and then obviously they'll take it down to the 8-pound log, and then maybe down to 5 pounds, maybe the minimum. But you could maybe expect to pay, depending on the bids, $20 a pound.
Really?
Some champion cheese, yeah.
It must
Your
taste
5-pound
amazing.
cheese could be $100.
Oh, my goodness. Well, that would be, I think I might refrigerate that, make that last as long as
You'd have to
possible.
make that last.
Wow. Okay. So what else happens that I'm not aware of down there? That's amazing.
Yeah, that's the Thursday kind of kickoff. We actually have some local events on the Wednesday, which is for the kind of little kids. We have concession rides, and that's when the Little Swiss Miss is actually picked. And that's just a local thing that we try to involve some of the community, because then the kind of the main stuff happens on Friday and Saturday. New this year, we're going to try it for our very first time, because we don't want an Oktoberfest. We still want the intimacy. We're going to have a craft brew tent and 3 local. So it's back to crafting. It's back to an artisan thing where 3 craft beer vendors will be coming in, and that tent will be located at the corner of Main Street and Broad, and it's next to the art wall that we have, a sculptured wall there in a tent. And it's going to be a select time period, 5 o'clock to 9 o'clock each evening. It's not an all-day affair, so we're trying to keep the select time frame in there to keep it tasteful, and that's going to connect with Main Street. Has a stage that we have different entertainers there each night. So we're trying to connect that. We're trying to bring some business down to the downtown area. Some of the other concessionaires want to feel like they're part of the festival, because if you're not connected to the Midway, sometimes you don't realize there's more to Sugar Creek than just the festival.
That's right. I'm always aware of that one street and surprised that, it's a whole town. So that's very smart to take people to other places, give a little tour at the same time. Okay, art, because there's so much artisans available and showing their wares.
There will be crafting, craft tent going on. Karen Meek does a wonderful job with that. And that's believe it or not, there's been ideas that we may not have crafts, but it's still one of the number one events that maybe like people are asking on Facebook or something.
Neat.
Are you going to have crafts or their craft tents or their craft tents? So we still have that on the ground. It's
awesome.
still a mainstay there. And, of course, there's on Saturday, there are going to be costume contests. There's going to be yodeling contests if you dare travel out there. And I got to tell you, I ended up third place one year.
Congratulations.
And the rest of the story.
Well, now, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Okay, scoot back a little bit from the microphone, because you can't say that and then not yodel. It's like, okay, a little bit. Let's hear one.
Hodele, 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 hee-hoo.
Ladies and gentlemen, third place. Oh, I don't know how you didn't win.
Well, I got to tell the rest of the story. Third place, and there was only 3. So. But it was worth a pound of Swiss cheese, so
absolutely.
I was in.
I wouldn't tell the second half of that. I would just say third place is impressive. Very good. Nice job. You mentioned parade a couple of times. Tell us about the parade. When is that taking place? Who will we see in it?
Yeah, we have 2 parades. The local kiddies parade is Friday at 2 o'clock, and that's when you can bring a goldfish to a bicycle to your goat, buggy, wagon, bike. I mean, I remember when I was a little guy, decorating my bike. That was a big deal, you know. And you go down Main Street, and they have giveaways and ride tickets that you win. And, of course, the Grand Parade, it's always been well received by the community. That's at 2 o'clock on Saturday. Mm-hmm. It's one of those events. We're going to have a military appreciation ceremony just before that, EMS and some of those service organizations. Nice. They'll do a really nice job with that. Last year, we saw better part of maybe 10,000 people downtown, and we got back to the 4 and 5 deep on the sides of Main Streets. Wow. And that really lifted our group's spirits to realize that weather still if the weather's there, we're well supported. Mm-hmm. So the parade's always a neat little thing. We have different people will decorate things. We bring those kiddie parade winners back into the main parade. We try to get as many bands as possible, but that's a little tougher with the schedules that schools keep right now. But,
mm-hmm. Well, I want to give you an opportunity to talk about all of the entertainment, and we don't want to miss out on any events. So I'm just going to hand you your microphone and go for it. What all is taking place?
Well, our entertainment chairperson, Nikki Bauer, she has her hands full trying to get 3 stages because we consider the wine and cheese a stage for an event. But that's a large undertaking to take on all those contracts, get the entertainment groups where they're supposed to be, when they're supposed to be. But Jacob Frisch is an up-and-coming alternative. He's not Swiss, but he's alternative, and he's an up-and-coming guy. We probably will see him on a circuit opening up for somebody popular next year. So Mon Valley Push is out there. Of course, Joey Tomzik is a mainstay for Swiss entertainment, and he'll be there. Frank Morkovic is another one that's always there. Kodachrome Babies is a local in our area. They have a really good following. They're more acoustical. They'll be in the wine and cheese at some point. Another unique one will be Zach's one-man band. That's just a gravitational thing that the guy's got. He's very talented and he's very entertaining. So that may not have as much Swiss to it, but it's going to have something. Dean James and the Treatment is on a Main Street. Like I said, Joey Tomzik, he's been a mainstay for a long, long time, and so is Frank. So Alporn Gruzies. They're kind of a Swiss thing where they come in and do their Swiss horns and Alp horns and do some of that.
Wow.
So it's all kind of tied in together. And I think with the Swiss themes, that's unique to our area with bringing all that together and the polka music. I think there's a genre that just always never wanted to forget where that came from.
That's right. It's good to know your roots, isn't it?
Yeah.
Some of those costumes are amazing. Now, are some of them real, brought back and brought over and handed down from generation to generation?
Yeah, I know probably double-digit people that actually their outfit is from Switzerland. Wow. And it is, they're in Switzerland. They have the cantons, and that's what distinguishes some of the colors and the styles of them. Mm-hmm. And there's information out there that for the women that the more silver or the chains that you have, it was a rise of your class of society and maybe the money that you may have.
Bit of a status symbol.
Yeah, it's a status symbol. So
interesting.
A lot of the colors the people try to, the colorful costumes, it's authentic. It's a real thing in Switzerland. And we've been deemed in Sugar Creek the Little Switzerland of Ohio, and we actually sell that as a marquee point to our village of Sugar Creek. And if you look around the village of Sugar Creek, you'll see the Swiss architecture. And you can't even hardly say Sugar Creek anymore without knowing that there's the world's largest cuckoo clock.
Oh, of course.
Right on Main Street.
That's right.
And all the buildings have a Swiss front. One of our local artists that passed on, Tom Miller, painted a lot of Swiss murals and Swiss themes, and it's just kind of a quaint little thing. Maybe as a local you run past it too fast, but to the outsider, it's really a unique thing. We got what we have in Sugar Creek.
It's always a great day trip, but especially this week and this coming up weekend, because it's the Ohio Swiss Festival. So much. Any idea of the economic impact that this brings to the community?
Well, I think it's significant. I know that I've gotten to know the group of Airstream trailers of that group, that the Wally Bynum Club. And at Winklepleck Grove outside of Sugar Creek, there'll be anywhere from 180 to 240 or 50 Airstream trailers that are from all over the United States, and they hold Sugar Creek as their national rally. I know just those people alone are touring the whole area, and they will go to the wood shops, they'll go to the cheese shops, they'll go to your furniture store. Those guys love tours. They go through your thing. They want to eat in your restaurant. They're going to want to try those. I think the Swiss Festival is unique with the people that it brings, and they will support the area, and they're always interested in our area. And I think we have to embrace that we have an Amish community along with the Swiss. So it's a little bit of both. And, the Amish are very agricultural based, and that goes right along with it. And that makes it's a way of slowing the world down when you see some old world technology still going today.
It's just a wonderful place. Website or social media, someplace where we can find out everything?
Yep, you can like us on Facebook, and obviously we have Ohio Swiss Festival at gmail.com. You can connect to us, and there's a website that you can see, and we got Facebook out there that you can like and follow some photos, and we have people diligently doing that. I did want to mention that Kelly Engstrom was taking on the craft beer event, and that's a new event, and she's chairing that, and she's bringing as much life to that as possible. So, and she also helps us with our websites, and April Beachy also does that too. So we have a collection of people with some talents there that help us out.
Very talented group, not to be missed this weekend. It's the Ohio Swiss Festival. Scott Gerber, thank you so much for what you do in our community.
Thanks for having us and your support.